Michigan State tops top 5 Illinois. Jeremy Fears outstanding. Jordan Scott, the human straitjacket. And this team proved that, yeah, they could beat some of the best teams in the nation. That little slump, don't panic.
You are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This episode of Locked On Spartans is brought to you by Mazda. We put that same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work that defines you. Stay tuned for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you, Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners. I hope you're all still with us after that heart-stopping finish there for Michigan State, whether it was regulation, whether it was overtime. DK, if that last three-pointer went in, I don't know if I'd be here to record a fun episode of Locked On Spartans. That would have snatched the soul clean out of my body, but we don't got to talk about that because it didn't go in. DK, help me set the stage for this show, because what is the number one storyline out of that game? Because I got three. It's Jeremy Fears. He isn't just some big bad bully that likes to trip people. No, he's a really damn good point guard. 26 points, 15 assists, outstanding game. Jordan Scott, the human straitjacket, he was just supposed to merely contain Keaton Wadler. He shut Wadler down. He only got his points from the free throw line or that three when it was already too late in the game for it to matter for Illinois. Or is it storyline number 3, the broad one, DK? Look, one of my takeaways from the game, that Illinois team, I think, is in the upper echelon of college basketball. I think they are one of a handful of teams that could win it. And I think today showed that, yes, even after a slight little slump of 2 games, this Michigan State team can still compete with the best. Of those 3, what is the top takeaway from this game, DK?
Yeah, I think given the week that Jeremy has had, you probably got to start there. Tough showing on the Minnesota game. Just kind of have to be, getting your head on right. And there's a lot of outside noise. And to have the performance that he did today, we saw what Wadler did just, a week or so ago at Purdue.
Outstanding.
Just basically going unconscious. And to have your superstar, because I think Jeremy Fears is entering that. Forget all the extracurriculars and all the noise and all the rest of that stuff. Yeah. He's been playing like an All-American for the last, 8-9 games now. I'd have to go back and look when it started. But the numbers that he's putting up and the production that he's giving you, and today he did it when it mattered the most, like little bit of a slower start offensively. Second half, he was great. Overtime, he basically took over. The screen navigation stuff was special tonight from him. And to have as many assists as he did, it's like 26 and 15. I saw CBB Analytics posted this, but the first major conference player to post 25 and 15 in a game since Oklahoma's Trae Young in December of 2017. That is an insane stat. We're talking about Jeremy Fears in the same vein as Trae Young. Like, what a special performance from him. And I think what you said is true 100% about, Michigan State needing to get over the hump to beat a team that's kind of has the ability to maybe go out and make a Final Four and potentially even win it all. The firepower has been there for them. And I just thought that was like a high-level game. It was a lot of shot making back and forth, yes. So many different lead changes. That's a game that if you saw that in March and it was, an Elite Eight game, you'd be like, that's a good game. Excuse my language. Sorry, Locked On Spartans. But that was just a good game. No I'm glad, obviously, it ended in a dub for us because it would have been devastating to come on here and talk about like how great of a game it was, and then you don't end up with it. But tonight, they just, both sides of the ball was working. The defense gave them chances, and the offense kind of found their rhythm late with contributions from a bunch of different guys to be able to get over the hump.
And this defense proved again that this is amongst the best in the country for the Michigan State side, of course. Yes, the Minnesota game was definitely a step back in that regard, but they got their heads straight this time around. Or maybe, DK, maybe Luka Garza, who had a clip earlier on another podcast, said that Michigan State has different rims, and the team that is the visitors for Michigan State shoots on that rim in the second half, and that's why they're so low. Hey, you know what? Garza might be right here. 42% in the first half for Illinois, 32% in the second half. So it's either the rims or it's that it's a Hall of Fame coach captaining a team that plays great defense, and they made the adjustments on top of an already good game plan going into this one, and they just shut the valves off in the second half. What do you think is more accurate? Do you think rims have been a little jockeyed here, DK, or do you think Michigan State's just elite defensively? It's hard for me to say. I can't tell.
Yeah, I think that the defense has been elite for most of the season.
Okay.
It was nice that they kind of leaned back into it tonight. I thought from kind of the get-go, they, had it. And, the Visage brothers hit a couple threes. You get a three.
Yeah.
And you're just thinking to yourself, oh, my guys are going to be one of these nights where some of these guys just start, knocking down some shots. Jake Davis hit some timely ones too. A lot of weapons on that Illinois team. And obviously they're missing Kylan Boswell, but I think that this team kind of found, to a certain degree, some of their offensive flow, running a lot of things through Wadler. And tonight, the job that Jordan Scott did on him, the most human he's looked basically in 2 months. I think that was just a really, really nice job guarding him. I thought they did well managing the ball screens and kind of containing him at that spot and not letting him get loose. He really just was not that much of an impact out there. I thought Merkovich was really the one that they kind of had to shoulder the yoke on, and he, almost basically single-handedly beat Michigan State down the stretch with some of the drives and finishes he had. It was some of the tough takes, just like on the move. Like, how does he get that left-handed go kind of falling away? It was, just really impressive basketball back and forth, on the edge of the seat the whole time. And I think that even if you were a casual fan of the game and not a fan of either of the two, I think that it's easily in the top 5-10 games that have been played this season. It was really good.
That's happened a lot in the last few years where, a day after Michigan State plays, I say to myself, I really wish I didn't care. I really wish it didn't feel like I was going to have a stroke during the entire game, because that's probably a fun game to actually just watch as a neutral bystander and have no stake in the game. That was cinema tonight, DK. What I want to do next is I want to do a compliment sandwich. And what I mean by that, I'm going to start complimenting Michigan State, and in a way that's going to turn into an Illinois compliment, and then it's going to end with another Michigan State compliment. But I was wildly impressed with how Michigan State pretty much dictated how this game was going to go. As far as pace and tempo, fast break points 22-0. Other teams have been so good at limiting what Michigan State has done in the fast break as of late. Michigan State, they were able to get it done. Okay, I think it could have even been better than 22-0, but that's the final score in that tabulation, so we'll do it. The rebounding, they out-rebounded Illinois 48-38. That's including out-rebounding them 7-2 in overtime. Michigan State was clean with the ball in the second half. No turnovers in the second half. They were great from the free throw line, 20 of 23. But DK, this is where the Illinois compliment comes in. That much went well for Michigan State, and yet Illinois was still in the game with Wadler having a 0 performance. That's why I think that they are still, even with the loss, up in that upper tier group of teams that can win this whole national title, like I've already said. But the Michigan State compliment to end on is you still found a way to win against a team like that. I can't get enough of it. Look, is it the greatest win that we've ever seen in our entire lives? No, but sure seems like the win of the season so far, DK. Does it not? Or is there another one?
It's the win of the season. I don't think there's any question. Obviously, I think the UNC game, they have a big one, against Duke tonight, and win that rivalry matchup for them, which, makes that Michigan State kind of bludgeoning that they did look a little bit better. But I think that this is the one that they needed the most in this type of spot on a 2-game losing streak. You needed to, kind of add that notch to your belt for a top 5, top 10 type win. And they were able to do that tonight. So this one to me has to be for sure. And if I can slide a little compliment to Illinois, just from a coaching perspective, Brad hit the podium, basically said, the refs checked it. Nothing happened. It's always going to be kind of a judgment call, and moved on from it. Is it that hard? It's like a classy way to go about doing it. And
wait, hold on.
I want to give him credit for that, because the Twitter minions are out there, and it doesn't matter. No matter what happens now, anytime that Jeremy gets tangled up with somebody, it's going to be looked at, and that's just the way he's placed himself in that box, and there's nothing he can do about it. Yeah, but at the same time, it was nice to see Brad just kind of brush it off, move it on, not make it a continued storyline. It's pretty easy to do.
Like, I'm looking around for like my Big Ten like coaching handbook here, because I thought it said that you have to wait 3 days and then just blanket statement, just say that no, he was actually dirty for all 40 minutes. That's not what he did. That's interesting. Okay, I'll have to find my copy of the Big Ten coaching handbook and circle back on that. But no, man, good on Brad Underwood. Yeah, it was. I don't hate the challenges. I mean, let's be honest here. It's gamesmanship, right, DK? Like, the storylines are building up. Sure, that was like a kind of like a 50-50 play. Go to the booth, put it in the ref's hands. Who cares? But yeah, I'm actually amazed that you could just go to the podium after and say, nope, the refs looked at it. Wasn't dirty. Let's all move on in life. Huh, crazy. DK, you want to move on and talk about Jordan Scott and also like other players too, because Jackson Kohler, 11-16? What? Huh? What? That was the quietest 11-16 I've ever seen in my entire life. But first, I need to talk to people's ears off about Mazda, because, guys, it's time for Mazda's moving the game forward. For those who show there's more to the score than what's on the screen. Now, it says right here, I got to spotlight a player. How about just a few? How about Jordan Scott for his strangling defense tonight? How about Jeremy Fears for being the absolute technician of the offense? How about Jackson Kohler getting 16 boards against one of the best rebounding teams in the nation? No shortage of ways to go with this one. These remind us of what it really takes to raise the bar. It's that extra work off the court, dialing in every detail, giving it that extra fire, that grit, and that I never quit. We put that same passion into every model. Highlights make the real. What it took to get there makes it count. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. Also, guys, you want to spruce up your style, your living space. Wayfair is the place to go because the new year is here, and it's the perfect time to reset your routine and refresh your space. If you're spending more time at home, just might as well actually enjoy how it looks and feels, right? That seems pretty explanatory to me, but hey, it's kind of hard for people out there, right? Wayfair's here to make it easy because it's your one-stop shop for getting your home back on track. Now, Wayfair, they have everything you need from a full home refresh to just little trinkets, storage opportunities elsewhere, guys. Whether you're updating your living room, organizing your space, or upgrading your work from home setup, Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find exactly what works for your style and budget. Guys, shopping is easy. Delivery is smooth, and everything arrives exactly as expected. Get organized, refreshed, and back on track this new year for way less. Head to Wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. It's Wayfair. Every style, every home. Now let's drag it back out here. The one, the only DK, because, man, oh man, I just can't get enough of Jordan Scott. And look, we've all been impressed with what he's had to offer as a freshman, of course. He has timely threes the whole season. He plays solid defense. I became really impressed with his defense in that Indiana game going back. He was assigned to Wilkerson. And Wilkerson did light up the box score, but it took him a long time to do so. And it was kind of backloaded at the end of the game. He does it again against Wadler. I can't help to just be obsessed with how this can look in year two. I'm still enjoying this year, don't get me wrong, but I can't say enough about Jordan Scott, how ready he's been as a freshman this season. But man, dare I say, he gives me Gary Harris vibes. Now, Gary Harris was a better shooter, but when I say that, I mean great wing defender early on as a freshman. And boy, is he only going to get better as a sophomore. My question to you, DK, is, hey, do you love Jordan Scott more than I do? Because that's impossible.
I might. I think so. I mean, I think I've been kind of beating the drum for a few weeks now, kind of leading up to it. It felt like we've needed a change inside, the starting lineup, and obviously with Divine out now, that probably would have been inevitable anyways. But to kind of reward him after the way that he played in the Michigan game, he's just poised. I think that's the best, description of him. He just plays extremely level-headed. He's playing on both sides of the ball right now, and the offense is starting to come around a little bit. He's a little bit more of a streaky shooter. It either feels like it's going in for him or it's not. So you'd like to maybe look this offseason where he sharpens that a little bit. And I think physically it was weird in that Minnesota game. He had a really good offensive output, but I thought defensively he kind of got, beat up a little bit. They had kind of some bigger, stronger forwards. So I'd like to see maybe what his body looks like with another year in the, the weight room for Michigan State. But it's hard not to just see that Michigan State maybe has another gear when he's playing as well as he has. Now he's starting to eat up serious minutes, 28 tonight. Just really, I think that he's been a breath of fresh air, and you can add Cam Ward into that mix too. I know Ward didn't play his best that Michigan game. But I think at the last couple, he started going in the right direction. He had a huge bucket in overtime, that tip in when they pushed it out to 5 points. Yep. 8 and 7 for him in 18 minutes tonight. I think that's what you need. Michigan State's a better team when he's getting some buckets, doing some stuff around the glass. And I just love how hard he plays. That full court drive and dunk over Visage today, like nasty. He's a nasty dog. It's a small class, but like the two guys that they got, I really liked coming in, and I think that they've both shown that they belong. And Michigan State's ability to potentially go on some type of run in March, I think is very closely hinged to the two freshmen continuing to develop.
That coast to coast by Cam Ward, the entire time that's happening, from the first dribble, I pointed to the TV, and it was about the second dribble where I said out loud to a room of people that didn't care, he doesn't dribble. Like, this isn't something that should be happening right now. I don't like what I'm seeing whatsoever, and I expected a car accident at the rim. Holy mother of Mary. I didn't know that he would shove someone through the net like that. That was unbelievable. So that was a statement performance from him. But on that note, DK, let's do something topical here. Winter Olympics are up. Why not? Let's just make this corny as possible. Jeremy Fears gets your gold. Jordan Scott gets the silver medal. Who's the bronze medalist tonight in the MVP race? Jackson Kohler, like I said before the break, he gets a smooth 11 and 16. 16 rebounds against that team. Wow. But then Kurtang, he's got 10 points. Okay, including that one at the end of regulation. Or just like you said, great argument to be made for Cam Ward. Did he have some freshman mistakes on defense? Did he have some fouls that maybe we could have done without? Yeah, perhaps. But hey, we're willing to dismiss that in a win here. So who gets your bronze medal, DK? Hand it out.
Oh, that's tough. I think it was nice to see Jax kind of bounce back in the way. But if I had to give it, I mean, I don't think Michigan State wins if Tang doesn't knock down that three, that kick out that came back out. Kohler got the board, so maybe, he deserves the credit for that. But he misses the first. They got the offensive rebound. He kicks it out and hits it. And I think that really ended up carrying the day. So I'm going to give it to Tang because I was hard on him. He came in, he had 2 open threes. I was like, God, like that's what you're on the floor for. Hit the open shots that you get. And he hit a couple big ones. I thought he found like a nice rhythm too. He hit a couple middies today, kind of got to his spots. They just need supplemental scoring and shooting around Jeremy Fears. And I think that, he gave them just the right amount of it in the right spots when they needed it to be able to help carry the day. So between Kohler and Tang for me, but I'm going to give the nod to Tang because it's nice to see him kind of perform in this type of spot.
The start drove me crazy for Michigan State because they were getting whatever they wanted with 3-point shots. They were wide open to start the game, and I had jotted down on my notes, 5 from 3. Surely that won't bite us at the end. And, well, actually, for once, it actually didn't bite us in the end. How fun's that? So, look, there's also 2 other guys, too, that, I don't know if they go on the podium, but they also had great games, too. And this is what you needed to beat Illinois. You needed a lot of guys to have really good games. Thought that Carson Cooper really needed a bounce back last week against Minnesota, especially after that quote that he had about, hey, feeling bad for Minnesota with how much intensity they're going to bring. And then it wasn't just him. The entire team was flat, but, oh, boy, was he not great in that one. I would give him his flowers in this one, though. 9 points, 8 rebounds, 3 or 4 from the line, with 2 of those being in a very crucial situation, too. And, again, I'll say for, the 6th time this show, having 8 rebounds against that Illinois team, that's the best rebounding team, maybe this side of Michigan State, Michigan, Illinois. How about this? They're the best rebounding team in the Big Ten, not in the state of Michigan. How about that? And the fact that you're grabbing those kind of boards, that's outstanding. That's great. We'll take that all day. DK. Konkar, his alley-oops. I almost feel bad doing this. He has the alley-oop where he grabs it, throws it down behind the back. I didn't even get it from my couch. I'm so used to this. I'm so used to this circus act, this specimen of a human being, that I'm just on my, couch is nodding. Just like, yep, that's what he does. Yep.
As soon as he took it up, he was one step over half court, tossed it up. I'm like, yeah, that's a dunk. I didn't know it was going to be a reverse dunk, but.
No, something for everyone there, man. That was incredible. So, look. Anything else you want to add about this game before we just flip it to what's next conversation?
Yeah. I think you pointed it out. 8 and 8 for Carr in 37 minutes. I think you hit the nail on the head. This is a type of game where you need contributions from everybody who hits the
Everyone.
floor. And they got it. Like Trae Ford only played 7 minutes, but he came in and hit the 1-3 that he took. That's fantastic. Ward 8 and 7, 26, 3 and 15 for Fierce. Insane. Coop 9 and 8, played really good defense, 37 minutes for him. Kohler 11 and 6, like 16 boards. Insane. Scott 10 and 4, Carr 8 and 8. Like everybody had up to what they needed to for their stat line for Michigan State to be able to find a way to come out and win this game. And I think that has to kind of happen going forward. You put a ton of the onus on Fears now with Divine going out. There's just not much other ball handling on this roster. And all the supplemental pieces around him have to continue to step up and play at a high level. But I think that since November, we haven't seen maybe this team play up to a level in which they look like they can make a deep March run. This is the first game I've really felt maybe since kind of that early part of it where we were starting to just hammer teams for a little while, that they put it all together on both ends and showed that they can, at their best, make that kind of run in March.
Next up, which I actually do like this, it is quite the break. They don't play again until Friday, which I think comes at a really good time for this team. I mean, after such an emotional win, after you obviously went to overtime, you get a break where you got to hit the road to Wisconsin. And right now, you look at Torvik, Michigan State's going to be favored by 1 in that game. So that's a coin toss game on the road. You get 2 home games right after that, UCLA, Ohio State. So but you're never going to get a clean 3-game stretch in the Big Ten. But that's not horrible. I mean, DK, is it a situation where if they're not 3-0 in the next 3 games, you're a little disappointed? Or will you give them some grace if they trip up, let's say, against Wisconsin, or if Xavier Booker comes in and he drops 35 on our head? I mean, what is it looking like in the next 3 games for you here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you got to protect home, right? You're kind of looking the way that this Big Ten shaping up. They're not necessarily out of it, but that loss to Minnesota puts you in a bad spot. You can't really lose to a lesser team. Wisconsin's in a weird spot. I think that they've been playing better ball of late. They lost kind of a weird game to Indiana today. They were down the whole game. They finally clawed back. I thought they got gypped a little bit by the refs, so that'll be interesting. The two really good guards for them, so that'll be interesting to kind of see. I'm guessing Fears and Scott are going to get those assignments on Blackwell and Boyd. But I think Michigan State can kind of beat them up a little bit on the boards. You're in the Kohl Center, which is always tough to play. But yeah, I think you want to be 3-0, and then you're going on the Indiana trip to Purdue and Indiana, the state of Indiana trip here, and then you get Rutgers at home before you got to go to Michigan. So, you have kind of the home stretch you're looking at here. If you can find a way to protect home court, which you should against UCLA, Ohio State, and Rutgers. The Purdue game is going to be tough, even though they've looked like, not great lately. Almost lost to Oregon at home, couldn't hit a shot. They kind of look like a bit of a broken team, but is it going to look like that in 2 weeks when you see them? You just never know. It would be better to be catching them right now, this next game, I think, than maybe it would be in a couple weeks before they figure it out. I think if you can find a way to win that game on the road at Wisconsin, you put yourself in the driver's seat to be able to give yourself a shot, right? And that's all you can really kind of ask for. I think 17-3 gets you a piece of the title this year. I still think that there's a couple losses to be had. Maybe Michigan goes 18-2, and so it's not even good enough. But yeah, so the margin of error for Michigan State is slimmed down because of that loss at Minnesota. But you're still kind of fighting for a double bye. You're fighting for some of your seeding. And I think it sets up nicely for Michigan State to hopefully stay on the top 4 seed line, which I think is what you absolutely want to do heading into March.
I just want to, not to make this a whole who's going to win the Big Ten conversation, but man, Illinois' schedule breaks pretty nice for them from here on out. Torvik has them favored in every game from here on out, so they could easily go 18-2. But yeah, I can't stress, have we clowned teams that we've beaten here before? Of course, especially Big Ten rivals. Yeah, we have our fun. This isn't one of those shows, though. I'm massively impressed with Illinois. That's a team that could easily cut down the nets as good as any. And the fact that MSU beat that, I'm gracious in victory, DK. I'm feeling good right now. So before I let you go, broad question, stupid question. How are the vibes? How are the Michigan State fan DK? How are the vibes right now?
The vibes are good. Come on. Here we are. We had that
You're over the last 2 games
slump.
then. Okay.
The vibes, I think the vibes are as good as they can be. They really are. You get a little break. It looks like Wisconsin actually has to go to Illinois on Tuesday. So they're on a little trip before. I did not know that, but that's nice. We get a little bit of a break. They have to go to Illinois. So they're going to travel to a pissed off Illinois team. I like that, I think. Hopefully get beat up a little bit maybe on the boards and whatever. So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be super fascinating, I think, to watch this Big Ten race down the stretch. Michigan still has to go to Purdue, still have to go to Illinois. Yeah. They have Michigan State coming into their building. So there's a couple opportunities there, but the top of the Big Ten has been super strong this year. It'll be very interesting to see how this kind of shakes out, but, it's weird, man. It feels like the season just got going, and all of a sudden we're almost on the home stretch in before March. So
I know.
Happens in a blink.
It's sad. I feel like I was just at the Detroit Mercy game the other day, but here we are, man. Here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
The last month of the regular season. But DK, you're the best, guys. I want to give everyone a peek behind the curtain here. I do like to give my guests at least a few days, if not like a week, heads up for joining the show. I kind of just blacked out in the moment, and when MSU was up 6 in overtime, I just all caps texted DK, "Hey, do you want to join the show tonight?" And DK, as gracious as ever, agreed. Like, holy smokes, man! Like, you're the best.
Listen, dude, your dedication knows no bound. You're down in the closet right now, recording this.
Yeah,
I'm
huffing like detergent fumes, random chemicals. Yeah, man, it's great.
And for the record, you called this a week ago. It's insane. We lost to Michigan. You go, I've never seen. I know Michigan State February slump basketball. They're losing to Minnesota. It's going to be an amazing game. Win against Illinois. I'm calling my shot, and that's exactly what happened. I don't know. There was like a level of anxiety that I, dissipated when you got the Sheehan almost guarantee.
That's right. That's what I'm known for. Calming everyone's anxiety. That is just my trademark over here. That's right. That is all I do. No, honest to God, when the FanDuel line came out and MSU was favored by 1.5 and everyone was losing their mind, it's like, yeah. Whenever something reeks out loud in Vegas, why do you think, and by the way, shout out to FanDuel, great sponsor, why do you think they got a skrillion billboards and advertisements everywhere? Like, when something stinks out loud like that line, something's good going to happen for who it stinks for. Like, yeah, that was never a doubt today, DK. Come on, man.
Never a doubt. Never a doubt.
There was a little bit
my
of doubt. My
soul almost left my body when Carr tossed it in to Wadler, though, after he just hit the three. I thought he should have just shot that in the corner. I can't believe he did it.
I can't believe he did it.
He just hit the one and fire it. He fired it to Ivisic, who didn't hit the rim. It was like his second time in a row, didn't hit any part of the rim.
He's got the Phantom of the Opera mask on. Like, yeah, I know I'm the same dude. I couldn't believe Wadler didn't turn that around and just, cue that up and drain it.
Survival, baby. Survive in advance. We did it today.
I'm so glad we don't have to do that show.
I wouldn't have done it. I'll be honest with you, bud. I would not have done it with you. You would have had to do it by yourself.
I wouldn't have done it either. I think I just would have crawled into traffic. So, yeah. But, hey, we're here to live another day. So look at us. All right, guys. You guys are all the best, DK, especially you guys. We will be back. We got some football episodes queued up here for the next few days. We're, of course, going to talk about basketball. But, yeah, guys, it happens in East Lansing. It's talked about right here at Locked On Spartans. DK, again, can't thank you enough for such
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Time, but agreeing at such a short notice. So you're the best, guys.
All right. Go Green.
Till next time. Love you all. Go Green.